Hello, I am back for my week 6 vlog update. So I'm officially 6 weeks on testosterone and I'm feeling great, minus my continued struggles with completely unrelated illnesses and uh, my voice. I feel like it hasn't like dropped tons and tons, but my range, I can take my voice like much lower than I ever have before in my life. And while that feels kind of forced when I do it, like I just did, it also feels really cool. I think I've said that before, but I'm really enjoying the sensation of having a lower voice and hearing that for myself, which is great because I was a little nervous about changes to my voice just because, we hear our voices all the time and um, my voice wasn't something that I was like, it wasn't something I was crazy dysphoric about. However, it was something that was like a dead giveaway that I, you know, was in was assigned female at birth. So, anyways, excited about that. The other thing I wanted to talk about today is something that's kind of awkward, but it's bottom growth. And going into tea, I was pretty neutral, curious, and a little bit, skeptical about how I would feel about bottom growth. I was able to do a lot of research and, watch a lot of like people's voice transition videos and stuff like that. And like, well, of course, like no one is going to be my exact experience. Um, I got a pretty, thorough understanding of what that entails for good reason. Bottom growth is something that is not talked about, and it's not talked about like to the extent, and certainly not as like publicly as other other factors with going on T. So I was kind of like, I know this is going to happen. I don't know exactly what it's going to feel like. I don't know how I'm going to feel about it, but I'm willing to take the risk and see what happens. And I'm happy to say that I feel amazing about the changes that have occurred thus far. Excuse me. And um, it's only been 6 weeks. I feel like about 2 weeks in, I had to already start kind of rethinking like a lot of stuff that I thought I knew about myself, intimacy wise. And while that's been really exciting and euphoric in a lot of ways, it's also been really hard. And I don't want this video to be like super negative because I think there's enough negative content out there. I want to try and create things that are positive. I also want to acknowledge that like this journey is difficult, and it's difficult for all sorts of reasons. And there's highs and there's lows, and you're not going to feel like $1,000,000 every single second of every single day. And then you can't think that like when things get hard or awkward or weird, that like you've made a mistake. Like that's not how it works. That's just life. And so to the awkwardness or hardness, I suppose, of the bottom growth changes, on a positive note, I've been struggling for a long time with trying to like articulate issues that I've had in that department, well before T, well before I even was aware that I was trans. And it was really confusing for me and really difficult to understand. I just didn't even know like what was going on. I didn't realize how disconnected I felt from that part of my body. For my chest, it's been a very different experience. Like, I've disliked having a feminine chest my whole life, and pregnancy and chest feeding after giving birth were extremely traumatic for me. And I basically had to completely close that area down. Like, my partner knows, don't don't touch me there. He's been very respectful of that. It's just been like become like a no-go zone. And while that's frustrating, it was like, I have to do this. I just like, it's what I need to do. And like, that's fine. And I'm looking forward to a day when I don't have to feel that way about my chest. Um, I have not felt that level of dysphoria about other parts of my body. And yet, having gone on tea and having the effects of that take hold, I'm now realizing like I actually have been pretty disconnected from it. Not the same way that I was with my chest, but just the excitement and euphoria I have now compared to what I felt about it before, which was kind of like, I don't know even how to describe it. Like I hate to use the word disgust, but like it didn't do a whole lot for me. And there was, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to articulate and it's hard to talk about. But the whole point is that I didn't know what tea would make me feel about that area of my body. And I can't believe the difference it's made in how connected I feel to myself and how enthusiastic I am. And it's also been really hard because we've been really sick. And so, like, libido has been kind of all over the place, and we just have not felt like we've been hacking up a lot of really gross stuff and having a lot of sinus congestion and just haven't really felt like our most attractive selves. I'm talking about like my partner and I for a while now. But yeah, we're kind of like, it's going to force me to really rethink a lot of our intimacy. And for someone who's been in a long term relationship, that is both exciting and intimidating because, you know, there's nothing like learning new things about each other and changing things up that can keep things exciting for you. And it's also like we have these established routines. So it can be difficult to make changes in that department, but I have a lot of faith that we can work towards those changes and that it will be really, really good for us in the long run. And that work is, like I said, it's just hard. Like sometimes it's just really hard to do that type of work together. And I'm grateful I have someone who's willing to do that work with me. And it's still weird and awkward and hard. So yeah, just is what it is. But anyway, that is my week 6 update, and I will be back to talk to you all again in another video soon. Bye.